So I have received some exciting book mail, and so today we're going to unbox it together. This is the Illumicrate box for April. I have never actually received the full box from Illumicrate before, so this is really exciting. I have the book-only subscription, but I messaged them and was able to get this one because there is an item in this that I am really excited for, and was like, I absolutely need this item, and so they were very nice enough to let me purchase this one. I also have a Fairyloot one. It hasn't yet arrived, but I will put in clips of that in this as well. This whole purpley sort of theme going on. Rival Realms is what the theme for this one. And then on the back it also says what next month's is. Spoilers for each of the items. So the first thing that I'm seeing is stickers. So these are Cosmic Fray Sun stickers inspired by Faybound by Sarah L. Reevy, which is a book that I have read. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I did enjoy it. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I do wonder if that has something to do with not enjoying it as much, because I did not like the voice that the narrator did for one of the main characters, but overall it's still a pretty good book. Sun, and then moon. The next item, the Dragon's Dawn. I believe this is inspired by the book Voyage of the Damned. Actually, I do own it, but I have not read it. And then our next item is the one that I was really anticipating, and it is the Villaire jigsaw puzzle. So Villaire, if you are not aware, is the main city from the ACOTAR, or A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. That happens to be one of my favorite series of all time, and I absolutely love puzzles, and the art for this is absolutely beautiful. And I feel like doing this puzzle and listening to the ACOTAR audiobooks is going to be a really great experience. And I'm due for a reread of ACOTAR. It's been a while. And then we have a postcard set, which is inspired by Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. I also have that book. I also have not read it. I've actually heard it compared to ACOTAR a lot. Sort of sunset. It looks sort of like Middle Eastern or maybe like South Asian inspired based on the architecture. And then this one looks a bit more maybe like Haunted Castle inspired, but the Aurora Borealis there is really pretty. And I think the second book in this series is called Role of the Aurora Queen or something like that, so that might be why it has the Aurora Borealis. Here is our book, which is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. So this one I have actually already started reading as I received it as an ARC. I've only read the first chapter or so, mainly because I knew that this book was coming, and I knew that I wanted to get it anyways. And I prefer reading physical books as opposed to ebooks, even though I probably should have read this one beforehand, but I can always just read it now. I actually really like the standard cover for this, but I think this redesign is quite nice as well, and these sprayed edges are really pretty. I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, so this is really nice in my opinion. And then we've got some pretty end papers as well. I haven't gotten very far into reading it. Our main characters have some sort of bond with like animal familiars, and like each of the different houses in this world has like a different animal that's associated with it. So I'm really excited to find out more about how that magic system works in this world. So a signature page. I forgot all about the naked hardcover, which I actually think I saw some spoilers for it, and I think this was one of my favorite aspects of this design. The back of the book says, "Win the throne, destroy an empire. Either way, it begins with murder." So, after 24 years on the throne, it's time for Bearson the Brusque, Emperor of Oran, to bring his reign to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 contenders will compete to replace him. Trained at rival monasteries, each contender is inspired by a sacred animal: fox, raven, tiger, ox, bear, monkey, and hound. An 8th, the dragon proxy, will be revealed once the trials have begun. 8 exceptional warriors, thinkers, strategists, the best of the best. Then one of them is murdered. It falls to the brilliant but idiosyncratic Nima Craw to investigate. But as she hunts for a killer, darker forces are gathering. If Nima succeeds, she could win the throne whether she wants it or not. But if she fails, she will sentence herself to death and set in motion a sequence of events that could doom the Empire. I'm excited to get to this one soon, and excited to have gotten this book and this box in general. Obviously, I think the puzzle is the thing that I'm most excited for and the one that I liked the most. Alright, so it has actually been a couple of days and my Fairyloot has arrived, as well as another one, which is my Broken Binding subscription. Hesitant on whether or not I would show the Broken Binding one, just because Broken Binding does their subscription as a series where you get books 1, 2, and 3 in different months. I don't know how exciting it is for people to watch. The theme for this month was Hexed Hearts. So this is the little card, and it also has a spoiler card on the back, so I'm just going to show that to you, which I think has the different artists, so feel free to look them up. I have already seen spoilers for what this book looks like. This one is one that I actually really like the design of. I think it's a lot nicer than standard copy of it. It's got this pretty one, and then the sprayed edges on this are really, really pretty in my opinion. It has like this little fox there. I like this cover as well. It also has a similar one on the back, and it says magic has demands that must be met. Initially, I wasn't too intrigued by the synopsis of this book, but I'm actually more interested in it now, like seeing this cover, because I feel like it has a lot more of a whimsical vibe to it than the initial description. There are also the end paper arts. These are by Frostbite Studios, who I personally really enjoy their artwork. That's the other one. The dust jacket flap here is actually wrong because it says that the under the dust jacket art is by Frostbite Studios, but this is her art style. So these are by Frostbite Studios, and the under the dust jacket art is by Maxon, who is credited with doing the opposite on the little flap on this dust jacket, but the card says otherwise, as well as my eyes say otherwise too. So, but this is what the under the dust jacket art looks like as well. I think this is quite cool, and different facts about our 3 main characters, so I'm going to read them off for you. So the first one is Penny, and it seems to have a nickname which is Pens. Her birthday is May 13th. She has a quote which is, "If your nerve denies you, go above your nerve," which is by Emily Dickinson. Her favorites are, her favorite color is blue, her favorite smells are coffee and apples, her favorite food is ramens, lucky number is 13, favorite sport is volleyball, she likes going on walks and reading romance novels, which, me too, girly. And her favorite TV series and movie is Amityville High, which might be an in-universe thing. I don't know if that's a real thing. And her favorite band is Quicklime. Our second character is Alonzo, and his nickname is Nimble's Dad, which I'm guessing is his little cat that he has here. You can kind of see it. His birthday is March 27th. Oh, his quote is, "Believe nothing you hear and only one half that you see," which is by Edgar Allan Poe. His favorite color is black. His favorite smell is vanilla. His favorite food is Flaming Hot Cheetos. His lucky number is 7. Sport is bike polo. Hobbies, watching anime and reading sad poems. His favorite movie is Spirited Away. His favorite band is The Misfits. And then our last character is Corey, and his nickname is Golden Boy, and his birthday is June 10th. His quote is by The Work One Knows, The Workman, by Jean de La Fontaine. His favorites are the color red, the smell of petrichor, breakfast burritos is his favorite food, his lucky number is 3, his favorite sport is football, and his hobbies are video games and collecting vinyls. His favorite TV series is also Amityville High. It's making me think that maybe it's an in-universe thing. And his favorite band is Hozier, which I 100% agree on. That is a great favorite band to have. There is also some Under the Dust Jacket art as well. I think I actually like the dust jacket more, but I think it's still quite nice. Okay, so now I'm going to read off the synopsis. The locals of Idlewood whisper of a tragic love story that began a decades-long blood feud. For as long as anyone can remember, the DeLuca witches and the wealthy Berrien family have been sworn enemies ever since the curse that changed their fates forever. Now, if a Berrien falls in love with you, you'll die. But when Penny Emberley's mother becomes the curse's latest victim, Penny must bring together two bitter rivals, Alonzo and Corey, in order to save her mother's life and stop the feud for good. But as the trio navigates unpredictable magic, the tangled web of their family histories, and their complicated attractions, it becomes clear that there are more than dark secrets at play. Can Penny find a way to break the curse without losing her heart in the process? So this one seems really, really interesting, and I'm excited to see how the author navigates romantic subplots within this, as well as we have two male characters and a female character. So I'm kind of hoping it's not a love triangle, and I'm also sort of excited to see if there's maybe some queer elements in this one as well. And it sort of reminded me of another Fairyloot pick, which was called Only a Monster, I believe, by Vanessa Len. And that one also has this sort of like element of like star-crossed lovers and some curse elements going on as well. So I'm excited to see what this author does as well. And this edition has definitely made me more excited to pick it up. And if I was not receiving this, I probably would not have picked up this book. And sometimes that is a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes I find hidden gem books and other times I find ones that I'm like, I should not have read this in the first place because I don't like it, but I'm hoping that this one will be the former in terms of being a hidden gem book. So next up is the Broken Binding one. So like I said earlier, Broken Binding subscription works as a series instead of as a standalone. So this one is actually the last in a trilogy. Broken Binding's books come in like the most intensive packaging ever. And I both kind of love it and hate it. It's quite messy, but it has this like honeycomb paper and then there's like plastic wrap and then the book is wrapped on top of that. So something that I absolutely love about Broken Binding is their packaging. I love this paper, the ribbon, the stickers, and also the bookmarks. These are some of the only bookmarks I have because I'm not someone who buys bookmarks normally, but I will read off the quote for you. It says the book's name, which is The Labyrinth Heart. Hardened by the world, but a short drop away from cracking. Too willing to use people like tools. Too wary of being used by others. So that is really love this series. Similar to the Gentleman's Bastard series or the Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. In terms of its setting, it's set in this sort of like Venetian / Italian Renaissance inspired setting, and we follow this main character who is pretending to be a noblewoman and is basically conning her way to a fortune. However, she soon finds out that the family that she is trying to con her way into is actually not wealthy in the slightest, and ends up instead forced to help them in order to get what she wants. So it is a really interesting setup. The magic system in this series is also one of my favorites of all time. It has a dream-based hero magic system. This is what the cover looks like. I really like this one, and I love that they have kept the initial color scheme as well. Like this one, the initial one is purple. It also has a quote on the back which says, "We will meet again. Road leads you home when the river meets the seas." That's what the back looks like. We also got some artwork there, which, having read the book, makes me really happy seeing those. I'm not going to say too much about like what characters are, what it represents, because it is sort of, this is book 3 in the series and it is a bit spoilery. I hope that Broken Binding doing this series will bring it to more people's attention because it is such a great series. I listen to these as audiobooks, but I was thoroughly enraptured by the world and the world building and the characters in particular, and the magic system, like I said before, inspired by dreams and tarot cards, and it's just one of the most amazing worlds and magic systems I think I've ever read. This was the first book, which is the Mask of Mirrors. Fortune favors the bold, magic favors the liars. So I think really sets up the tone. We've also got some nice artwork. Liar's Knot. Trust is the thread that binds us and the rope that hangs us, is what the back says. Second one. I quite like that the artwork has like a central theme, like the first one is showing a like scene from the book, and then the second one shows specific characters. I'm also going to read off to you the quote from the Liar's Knot, which is, "If you can't even have a good cry with your friends without worrying about your secrets getting out, I'm thinking you need more crying, more friends, and fewer secrets." Which is a great quote. I think this series has a lot of great quotes. I would show you the bookmark for the first one, however, it is currently in a book, so I don't want to lose my place on it. The only criticism that I have is that the edges on this one are a lot more vibrant than the edges on the other ones. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but the colors on this third one are a lot more vibrant. There you go. That's all 3 covers. That's the best I can do. I might actually like the cover for this one the best. I really love the color composition here. I really love the art style in general for these in terms of the more blurred figures around them. I think really adds to that whimsical sort of dreamy quality that this series has in general. So I really think these covers are very reminiscent of that. There's also in this one a sort of spiderweb design, and if you have read this series, you probably can tell what that is referring to. As I think it's still really pretty, and I do think this like background gives it that dreamy sort of whimsical style as well. But it seems a lot more organized than the other two, which I think actually follows suit for this book, because we're sort of following these characters and they're very disastrous characters, and I feel like this one sort of follows them more as they're trying to get their lives together. So I feel like the more orderly style to the artwork in this sort of suits that as well. So yeah, that is the Rook and the Rose trilogy. I'm going to read off the synopsis for this first book, just in case if you were wondering. Darkly magical and beautifully imagined, The Mask of Mirrors is the unmissable start to the Rook and the Rose trilogy, a rich and dazzling fantasy adventure in which a con artist, a vigilante, and a crime lord must unite to save their city. Nightmares are creeping through the city of dreams. Renata Verodex is a con artist who has come to the sparkling city of Nadezhra, the city of dreams, with one goal: to trick her way into a noble house and secure her fortune and her sister's future. But as she's drawn into the aristocratic world of House Trimentis, she realizes her masquerade is just one of many surrounding her, and as corrupt magic begins to weave its way through Nadezhra, the poison feuds of its aristocrats and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become tangled, with Ren at their heart. Once again, I really enjoyed this series. I think it's very expansive, the world building is great, the magic system is fantastic. So if you are looking for a new trilogy to pick up, I would highly recommend this one. Alright, so thank you very much for joining me on this unboxing video of these 3 books. I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this unboxing, and feel free to let me know which of these editions you think looks the best, or whether or not you have received any of these editions, or what you think of either of these 3 books. These look together. They're all purple, which is a really fun thing. Purple is one of my favorite colors, so really nice to get all 3 books being purple.